I'm Tamiah, and I am a nurse. I'm currently enrolled at Cardinal Stritch University, and I'm in my first year of my MBA program. I work at Frederick Hospital in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've been there for a total of 6 years. So, for the first 3 years of my nursing career, I worked on an inpatient medicine unit. About 2 years into that career, I began my Doctor of Nursing Practice program, my DNP program, where I was in school to become a clinical nurse specialist. So I'll use this time to actually explain to you guys what a clinical nurse specialist is, just because a lot of people honestly aren't aware. So clinical nurse specialist is an advanced practice nurse. So when I went to school with nurse practitioners. So I have advanced assessment skills, pathophys skills, and pharmacology knowledge as well. So really, we focus on three main spheres of influence. That's the nurse, the patient, and the organization. And our day to day really, involves itself around clinical practice, quality improvement, and evidence based practice. During that time in school, I ended up switching units where I went to our clinical cancer center at Frederick Hospital, and I worked as a chemotherapy infusion nurse. So just last May, I graduated from my Doctor of Nursing practice degree. Yes, Dr. Wright. Yes, I am Dr. Wright now. And I began my career immediately as a clinical nurse specialist. So currently, I provide support to all of our solid tumor areas throughout our cancer network. So after finishing my DNP program, I swore that I would never go to school again because it was a very stressful time. Like I worked full time, I did my program full time. I felt like I had no life. However, I'm here to tell you today. So I just started an MBA program at Cardinal Stritch University, and I'm currently enrolled in that. In 5, 10, and 15 years, I plan to have an impact by being a well rounded nurse leader. I think that right now I'm getting great experience from the clinical practice side. I think that as you move up further and further in hospitals, you really have to understand that business side. So my goal is to really be a mixture of both, to have that clinical practice experience in being a leader, but also to have that MBA behind me where I can combine the business part of the hospital with the actual clinical practice portion. And I think that that's going to make me an amazing future nurse leader. I went into healthcare. Honestly, I love helping people. I did this amazing program the summer before my junior or senior year of high school. I can't remember. And I remember we hung out with all of these different medical professionals, and I fell in love with nursing. Like from the second we got to meet with the nurses and talk with them, I remember they had this huge panel. I just knew that nursing was the thing to me. For me, the impact of this work and what inspires me, they're kind of the one and the same. I'm a first generation college student, so like my parents didn't go to college. I didn't really have a lot of family around me going to college either, so I was really the first one to go through that journey. Like I'm being a role model and showing, you don't have to come from a family full of nurses or doctors or people with bachelor's degrees in order for you to get through college. The second piece of that is that, I am a Black woman. There were, I think, maybe 2 or 3 of us in my entire class for my College of Nursing. Me now being a professional nurse, I see very few Black nurses. So I just feel like I'm really being a role model, especially for other girls who look like me. I'm really hoping that I'm able to inspire them and let them know that you can be a nurse. If I can do it, any person can do it. A few fun things about me. I am obsessed with leopard print. As you can see, I have leopard print shoes. I have leopard print jackets, dresses, shirts, leggings, anything that you can think of. I've really gotten into gardening this year. So we recently purchased a home about a year ago. So this was the first time that I did gardening, and don't judge my plants right now because they were fine. It's just getting a little cold in Wisconsin. That's why they look like this. I've been cooking a lot more, so I will never. People always talk about, oh, I'm a great cook. I've never been like that. To be honest, my husband cooks more than me. He cooks better than me. I will never sit and lie and say that I'm an amazing cook. But what I will say is that I try really hard. I have a few dishes that no one can beat me. So my grandmother taught me her dressing recipe, which I'm amazing at, and she taught me her banana pudding recipe. So if there's ever like a banana pudding contest, I will enter and I will win. Now, like outside of that, I'm not gonna even raise my hand.